Hey,
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Breaking Bad reviews for season 5 episodes.
ten,
Not no
11.
10, 11. I keep getting these episodes
I know you keep
named.
thinking 12. I don't know why. You haven't even seen 12 yet.
I know. Maybe I just can't count apparently. So um yeah, I was really looking forward to this. I was looking forward to this so much that I just did a 3-hour video, and I actually just was like, you know what? Originally we're gonna do this tomorrow, but then it's gonna be tomorrow by the time you see this. But
Well, we were gonna do it today because it's 11 o'clock at night, and then you called me like, "Hey, man, I don't want to do the video, but
yeah.
I want to talk about it real quick." And then we talked about it, and you were like, "Oh, damn it! Now I want to do a
Yeah,
video on it."
I feel like we shouldn't have talked about it because
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
it's not like though that I'm like forced to do this. I made the call, so
Oh
you know.
yeah.
Hey, if I ever want to do this for a living, I have to get used to stuff like this, doing
Oh yeah. Be a professional YouTuber, podcaster, whatever.
or like a radio, like talk show host or whatever.
Oh,
So
that'd be cool, actually. I'd
yeah,
love the job.
just we can't swear on those though. So but let's talk about this stuff. So we've decided for a while that AJ, obviously up until like the end and stuff, is going to talk about all things Jesse related. And I'm going to talk about all things Hank related, just
For
so
these
that way,
episodes, not like the whole show.
yeah, just so that way, like we'll both have talking time. I don't want to say screen.
Those two are like the main people in this. Like no one else does a whole lot.
Yeah, well, Skylar does a lot, but it's
Yeah,
basically
but that a lot of that's like Hank associated.
yeah. So let's talk about episode 10. That episode was called Buried, which kind of ties into,
The money that
yeah.
buried.
So that's why it's called Buried. So there you go. We should just like end that review right there.
Roll credits.
Yeah. I wish we did. I wish I could make credits. That'd be awesome.
Hey, you can right now. Stay up till 3 a.m. and do it.
Yeah.
The episode starts off with a guy. He just finds a pile of money on the ground. He's like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll follow the money."
Yeah.
And then eventually he sees just Jesse like staring off while he's laying down on that like spinny thing. Like, what is that called anyway?
Merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round.
No, it's not. That's the horses.
Oh, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Like the circly thing that like everyone went on as a kid.
On the playground.
Yeah, Jesse's just spin on that, like completely out of it, like wrapped with guilt.
Yeah.
And then,
so
it's a very short scene, but just kind of shows like how broken Jesse is at this point.
It also kind of shows, how he doesn't really now he's kind of like not, as smart when it comes to like not getting caught by the cops, which is
right. It's not even that he's not smart. He just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Just, whatever. If I get caught, that's kind of what I deserve.
Yeah, because because he finds like the bag of money too, like he does and everything. So
yeah, he doesn't try to hide the money or anything. He's just like there.
And then roll intro. It's basically. But yeah, I like this scene. I liked this scene a lot because it sets up the end of the episode. I will admit the ending was spoiled for me because of the thumbnail that they had on the on like Netflix. Yeah. So fuck you, Netflix, for spoiling that. But I mean,
also, thank you for letting us watch these episodes for like $10 a month.
But well, not for me. I get it for free. But
oh right. Well, your grandparents pay for it. Yeah, my parents.
No, my sister pays for it actually. So
okay. Well, my parents pay for it, so whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because like that scene was kind of ruined for me because I already knew what happened. So I mean we would have known about it anyways, but I just think they should have picked a different thumbnail because I think I would have liked it more. So that's not even a Breaking Bad criticism. That's a Netflix criticism.
Fuck you, Netflix. First you mush all of RVB into 13 episodes, and now you do this. Come on.
No, not even yeah.
Yeah. Movie.
So then, it cuts back because I think like this scene in the beginning like takes place in the past. Like it takes place, right after Jesse throws the money out. Because when it cuts back to like the Walt and Hank scene, it's like at the day. So, I kind of like it too. It was like I didn't think like the next episode. I thought like Walt would just be off doing something else, but it was like he leaves Hank's house after the confrontation, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, so like the Jesse thing is like right after blood money, you know, because it was at night. So that was probably like an hour after that. The Walt scene is probably like, what, a couple minutes after the Hank confrontation.
Yeah, so I kind of like that because, like, at least it shows, like, you know, because I hate it, like,
like,
you know,
immediate. Like, all this is happening, like, back to back. Like, it's getting so crazy.
Because like, I hate with Disney Channel shows, especially, like, you know, the storylines that happen, they try to make it seem like it's, like, the same day when it's not, when, you know, TV shows like this, you know, people do different shit every day, so.
Yeah. Well, no, this was all in, like, one day, right? I think so.
Like, we don't know. You know, you get like the different times of the day, I should say. So
yeah. Like you could tell, like time is passing. But, like,
yeah.
You know.
So Walt, you know, is leaving, and he leaves in a panic. Calls Skylar basically to tell him that, you know, Hank's found out, and he doesn't get to Skylar. He gets to, like, one of his workers.
Hank knows about my crush on him. What am I gonna do?
Wait, what?
I was just joking, saying, like, Walt was like, Hank knows about my crush on him. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, that would be awesome. So Skylar's on the phone with somebody else, and he probably thinks at first it's a work. You know, he does think at first it's like a work call, but then he realizes, I think, that because he sees Hank on the phone at the same time he is, so basically Hank was one step ahead of him this time. So
imagine if Walt was Imagine if Walt managed to call Skylar first. Like, this whole thing would have been different.
Yeah. That was yeah. Walt probably should have made the call before he got in the call. That's all I'll say.
Well, you should have Skylar at the top of your contacts. Come on, man.
Yeah. Speed dial, man.
Exactly.
Dial. So, yeah, Walt rushes back to the car wash, and Skylar's not there. So, we're instantly left to wonder where Skylar is. And Skylar goes to a diner with Hank, and basically, we know at this point that Hank told Skylar that he's, like, you know, Eisenberg. And obviously, Skylar's upset because we talked about this a lot in the last episode, in the last review. She just got her life back together, and
now all this shit's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was a good month, but man, that month is over.
Yeah. And however, though, Hank doesn't realize Skylar's involvement with it, obviously, because, you know.
Right. I think he assumed that, like, he hid it from her, just like.
Yeah. From him. Which, you know, if this was back in, like, season 2, he would have been right, but.
Yeah, but he's not. This is season 5.
You're a little.
Season 6, though. I want to point that out.
You're a little late, Hank. So, you know, Hank, you know, is piecing everything together, and he thinks Skylar is innocent, and he wants, you know, her to give, like, you know, a testimony, because Hank realizes that he's on he's on a time crunch. I don't think that's his thing, but basically he only has a certain number of time because he wants to make sure Walt sees the end of a jail cell. So
right, exactly. Well, yeah, it's like Walt said, in 6 months he'll be dead. So the sooner he gets him arrested, the sooner he can, you know, get him prosecuted.
And Hank, you know, also lets it slip that Walt's cancer's back, because Hank, I think, isn't really sure if Walt's bullshitting him too. He thinks it's all mind games. So,
which understandable, yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I feel like you know, that's when Skylar, like, you know, and obviously too, that even though we have to feel bad for Skylar, because you know, she just found out about this, and now she just can find out her husband, or whatever I'm assuming, just gonna say husband, has cancer.
They're still married. They never got a divorce.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know, like, what their relationship wise. I think I'm just gonna say, you know, that but that Walt has cancer again. Well, I mean, is back in remission anyways, or something. But then Hank wants, you know, a testimony from her recorded, but, you know, Skylar doesn't want to give one because she knows that her story is going to be false, and she wants a lawyer. I mean, obviously we knew the lawyer that she was going to go for, but which, you know,
it's all good, man.
Yeah, because I don't think she knows that Saul's being investigated, obviously. So, but you know, Hank says, you know, this is your brother-in-law. I'm all 100% on your side, and you know, he's just gonna go and get the kids. And basically, Skylar realizes that, like, basically, there's no way. This is a no-win situation, so she pretends to kind of have, like, a nervous breakdown in front of everybody, so that way, you know,
heck off, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually like
that's like Hank realized, like, okay, she signed with Walt.
Yeah. I actually really liked this scene. I thought this scene was pretty not awesome, but I thought it was a pretty good scene. And Skylar, I will say, the actor or the actress won like the TV like performer of the week because of her appearance in this episode. Which
yeah, I can see that. She's pretty good in this episode.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she's like the standout, but I would, she's definitely good.
Yeah. So then Saul's top guys, Huel and the other guy, I don't remember his name. You probably know because of Better Call Saul. What's the other guy's like the main guy that works for Saul?
Oh, like the big guy.
No, that's Huel. The other guy, the guy that
orange, or the redhead. I can't think of his name at the top of my head.
So they're gonna go get the money that Skylar's been laundering, because basically, if they get rid of this money, then there's no evidence that Skylar has been involved in any of this. So they do just that. But of course, I know this isn't like I thought it was a funny scene. Huel and Saul's top guy have to do like a money angel in it, which you really can't blame the guys, because if I saw
no, they just rested on it, then they didn't do money angel.
Oh well, maybe they well, yeah, but you can't really blame them though for wanting to.
Oh yeah, exactly. If I had that much money in front of me, I would too.
Yeah.
And I like how they're even like, should we just like take this?
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. So Walt's at Saul's office, and Skylar calls him. It probably really was Skylar, but Saul tells him not to take the chance.
Yeah, just like no chances if Hank's on the other line, or like. And take the battery out because they might have they're trying to track him.
Yeah, which today that'd be much.
He's being a little paranoid, but understandably.
Which we could talk about today. Like if Breaking Bad had happened today, there'd be no you wouldn't be able to take a battery out this time. You just have to, They probably
just, leave your phone wherever, because you're getting GPS, my dude.
And basically they're trying to find options about. Because this is like the first time, Walt's now basically been in first time in a no-win situation since season 4. So I feel like though this is even worse though than season 4, because basically now his whole life's now being threatened. You could say he threatened to be murdered by Gus, but basically he didn't care about Gus as much as Hank, because
right. It's with Gus, he didn't have any qualms killing him. It's just that he needed to find a way to kill him. Here, it's he could kill Hank, but he doesn't want to. Yeah, because,
Saul implies...
And Saul even brings it up, send him to where Mike got sent.
Which,
Walt's response is pretty funny, send him to there. I'll send you to wherever,
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
That was
and I did kind of like it.
I can say, from I've seen Better Call Saul, you haven't. Seeing how Saul just so easily says that Walt killed Mike and didn't even care, it's a little sad.
Yeah. Well,
it's they weren't really friends in Better Call Saul, but they had worked together a few times. It's a little sad knowing that Saul just doesn't even care that he's dead.
Yeah.
And that'll make more sense when you've actually seen Better Call Saul.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it enough. It's just kind of but I even I kind of like too, because it kind of show because I don't think we had known that Saul hadn't really known about it though prior. I feel like they didn't really fully tell us that in a way. So, and then but I really wasn't thinking about that until we just talked about it, because it was we were thinking about bigger things at the time. So, the guys Patrick, Huel, bring all the money, and they don't put it in Walt's car because the Walt doesn't want...
I mean, Hank's probably tracking it.
Yeah.
He already put a GPS on it, so he might put another one.
Yeah. And then obviously too, you can't take all this money with you in Walt's car. So yeah, Walt. We'll just mention this part of the scene now, because it happens. Walt obviously buries the money, and he checks the latitude and longitude of it.
And he actually, if you notice the background, this is a point later on. This was actually where their first cook was.
I was gonna say that, yeah. And also too, if you go online, it's the main set of where Breaking Bad's filmed most of the time too.
Right.
So I thought it was kind of a cool callback. And I think Walt bought a lottery ticket or something So that way, like he has it like printed out on like his like the receipt. So
all right, yeah, so he knows where it is because it's just like a big empty desert. So
yeah,
like
and he
if he
smashes
forgot
the
where it was,
yeah.
the numbers, like he'd just be like, well, time to dig through this whole desert to find my money.
Yeah. And I'm just AJ knows, but I have a feeling this is gonna tie back eventually, probably. Maybe not, but we'll see.
What, that is their first cook spot?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna go back here again. Yeah, I think they'll go back here again the last episode because it's gonna be like nostalgic for fans to see it kind of one last time in a way. So, and he also smashes like the latitude longitude like device that finds it because
right, so no one else could like find the device that Walt used and like get the location.
And as all this is happening, Skylar's back at her house, and Marie and Hank are there, which and they're not gonna leave pretty much until they talk to Skylar. So Skylar says just Marie, not Hank, and then Marie pieces it together. I feel like it was kind of awesome too when Marie pieced it together because she's kind of like been more involved, than Hank has, so he hasn't really known about most of the stuff.
Right.
So
like the money they used to help Hank like recover.
And that ties in the next episode. So
yep.
And I feel like she gets really upset because Skylar's known for all this time and basically
just lied.
Yeah, and her husband.
And like Walt has been like indirectly a cause for so much of Hank's suffering. She just didn't tell her. Yeah,
so she, and I like how Skylar won't even like look at it too afterwards too, like the whole time. And I think she finally does, but it's too late by that point. So, and when she looks at her, she bitch slaps her, and Marie.
It is Skylar, by the way. We just want to point that out. Marie bitch slaps Skylar, which I mean, well deserved.
Wasn't very specific. In my defense, I've done like.
I love Marie, by the way. A lot of people hate her. I love her character. She's really.
I feel like this is because before her character only existed kind of to further Walt and Hank's plots. And I kind of like now her character kind of feels like has more of a purpose now because
I feel like she's like a better Skylar.
Yeah.
And like I like Skylar at this point. Like I feel like she's really taking charge.
She's
but like still, I think Marie's just like a better Skylar.
I think too. You could kind of feel for Skylar in a way because, like we talked about, she just got her life back together, and all this happened. So, they're about to take.
She's acting a little nuts because, like, when Marie tries to take Holly, which you could argue is a little nuts.
Yeah.
Skylar just freaks out, like, it's like, give me my baby, and it's like you're like he. Oh my God. Like you're living in a house with this crazy guy, and you wanted her out of the house for like 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when Marie's like, I don't want your kid in this house with that guy, and she's like, no, I don't want, don't take my kid.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
What?
That's a little bit of a plot hole, yeah.
Not really a plot hole, but like I guess she just like in the moment flipped out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, she just took your kid for 3 months, and now you got him back, and all this shit's happening. It's like.
Yeah. And Hank, it says give her the baby back because I feel like he realizes this is a battle that he's not going to win. So.
Well, it's like it'd be kidnapping,
Yeah. So, and
it would just make them look worse.
Yeah, and you can side with Marie. You can side with Marie here because she's kind of in the moment thinking like we got to get these kids out of here. So.
Right, which is like a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
And I get why Skylar was like flipping out, like it was just in the moment, like her motherly instincts, like oh she's trying to take my kid, gotta stop her.
Yeah. So then
I side more with Marie on that one.
Yeah. So then Walt comes back and I like how they have to have like all the lights out and stuff because now it kind of shows like how big how much of a threat their lives are at the moment and stuff. So and he isn't really responding to her because I was waiting, like I thought like when she was talking to him she was trying to say stuff to him like you haven't answered my calls. I was waiting for like a great like small asshole Walt line, but he passed out, so he probably wasn't healing her at all because a guy that just had his cancer come back, probably not the best thing to be digging a hole like that. So
Especially because he's
So
like
that,
51, you know? Like, he
yeah.
shouldn't be doing that even without the cancer.
And I don't think he probably like, he was probably dehydrated too, because I don't think he took like any sips of water or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, and he was in the hot desert too. So then I think it's at this point though where she finds out that like it's true that his cancer's back, because obviously she really wasn't sure about it. So um, Walt wants pretty much Skylar to promise, because now he says that he's buried the money, but she wants Skylar to promise that no matter what happens to me, um, make sure that you use that money, because I don't want all this to have been for nothing. Which I like that scene.
Right.
You really couldn't hear. I couldn't really hear it, so I had to watch it again because it's very quiet. But I basically got the gist of what they were saying. So,
Yeah.
because
And it's a very human
yeah,
feeling, you know? Like, if you work so hard for something, you don't want it to all be for nothing.
exactly. Especially too now, for
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
And Skylar realizes that Hank doesn't really have like full evidence that Walt's Eisenberg. It's just all suspicion. So right now, all they have to do is just really keep quiet, which is going to be we think is going to be pretty easy for them because Walt's not in the business right now. So that's what we thought anyway.
Things get complicated with
Lydia. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Was this episode 11 where she, the guys?
I thought it was because it was because it was right. It was like the next scene right afterwards. So, yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, the scene where Todd and everyone. Okay, so Lydia meets up with Declan's gang, and she's there just saying like, "Hey, your lab. I want to check your lab because it might not be up to standards." Mm-hmm. They go down. They just make like idle chat. But Lydia keeps checking her watch, and then Declan and his cook go up because they hear some noise, and then there's a shootout, and you find out that Lydia had hired Jack and his gang to get rid of Declan and his group. And by the way, this is something I forgot before I rewatched it. I thought Todd was cooking for Declan at this point. No, it turns out Todd was cooking for him a few times, but he sucks at cooking meth and caught the lab on fire, so they hired a different guy.
And
that's a really cool scene, by the way. I think it's cool, like, Jack and, like, 5 of his guys took out, like, Declan and his 10.
Yeah, I kind of like, too, it's kind of like one of those moments you don't see it, you kind of have, you like, hear it, so.
Yeah, and, like, you don't really need to. It's just, it's like, Declan, it's like Jack and his gang are badasses and took care of these guys. Problem.
And I like how Lydia, like, you could tell she didn't really want to do it. She kind of had no choice but to do it because she didn't even want to see it afterwards and stuff. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's just like she's cowardly, like like the same thing with like Mike and his guys. She's wanted to like cowardly like put a hit out on them.
Yeah. And
it's like she has no problem killing people. She just doesn't want to see it.
Yeah, but all we're thinking about though is, why did this have to happen now? Like,
I know, right?
Like,
we're all probably thinking the same thing. Like, I bet, like, I just get out, and now all of a sudden, Jesse's with the cops, and Declan and his gang got killed, and Jack and Lydia are doing a thing.
Yeah, like, well, he doesn't even know about this yet. It's obviously we know it's gonna come up at some point. So,
yeah.
But
the poor Declan, man. He's barely in this show. He just gets shit on all the time.
You ever see him again in Better Call Saul? Because you can spoil it. Because
Declan, not where I'm at. I'm at season. I just finished season 3.
Okay.
I haven't seen season 4 yet.
I'm assuming you wait till it goes on Netflix too, so you can just watch it all at once. So.
Right.
Yeah.
They take forever to update it. So yeah, no. So Declan, he's there to hear the "Say My Name" speech.
Yeah.
And then he's.
I feel like
Jack.
I feel like his character could actually be pretty good. He seems like a pretty badass. I kind of hope he isn't going to be in Better Call Saul because,
I mean, clearly he's not that badass because he lost like 10v5,
Yeah. So, let me think. What was I going to say? Oh, well, I was just about to go to the next scene, which I believe the next scene is the Hank scene when, Hank and Maria there the next day, and Hank hasn't gone into work. And Marie's wondering, like, why he won't go in with the DEA with this. Because now, I mean, he doesn't have all the evidence yet, but basically he has enough.
Like he has enough to like make everyone convinced that like Walt is Heisenberg.
But Hank says that it's embarrassing for him because he'll basically lose his job over this because after all these years, well, actually after a year, I'm saying all these years because it was all these years for, the fans.
Well, Hank's known Walt for a long time, so.
Yeah. The guy that he's been chasing was his brother-in-law. He'll become a civilian and he'll lose his job. I feel like too Hank would be like embarrassed in a way too because it's kind of like but I feel like there's more of a reason than like what he's saying. Like I feel like what he's saying is true, but I think like Hank kind of wants to be the one to lock up Walt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if he brings it to the DEA, then it becomes a big DEA case and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I feel like that.
Like the one to catch Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Which he wouldn't be able to do that because he's in a position of power now. He can't be out in the field. Brooks anymore.
Yeah. So
his boss puts it out like you're running the whole department. You can't be out doing shit like this.
So something tells me that's gonna tie in too. But like I said, we're spoil free on here. So
spoil free. I say nothing. Lips sealed.
Yeah. So Marie though then says, but if you don't say anything, you're kind of like an accomplice in a way because just let him, you waited so long to say something, he could get in trouble as well. Which we find out. I will just say this now in the next episode. Maybe he should have said something because
now Walt came up with something that now you can't say shit.
Yeah. So Hank decides to finally go back into the office, and it's supposed to be like this big happy moment, but it's not really for Hank. But and then Steve Gomez comes in, and he reveals that Jesse's being interrogated by the FBI. So this kind of is some hope for Hank because
he basically pieced together that Jesse and Walt are working together.
Yeah. So he goes to the FBI interrogation, and he wants like 5 minutes with Jesse to see if he can get him to break.
Right, and the episode closes before we see what happens, but yeah.
Yeah, which I like that because, like I said, it's
built suspense, like what's happening now.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the end of the episode. I really like this episode. I think it's a great episode. I'm gonna give it a B+.
I give it a B+.
Yeah. It's a more fallout from the last episode, and it's kind of like the first time we really got to see like the hatred between Walt, Hank, Marie, and Skylar. And
like how this family just became a messed up hate square. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kids just don't even know what's happening.
Yeah. And then I also like even though Jesse doesn't have a big role in this episode, it's more the next episode. The ending, I think, leaving with a cliffhanger like that, I thought was pretty cool. So. Yeah, I really like this episode. No
Not a whole lot of Jesse things this episode, which kind of sucked. But,
yeah, but I feel like
it gets made up for in the next episode.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of I think that's kind of what in criticism as of late with these past.
Yeah, a lot less Jesse.
Yeah, but I feel like
the Declan thing with Jack and his gang was pretty cool, so I like that.
Yeah, and I feel like too that's gonna be like more of a bigger story, like a small story that becomes like a bigger story later on. So, yeah, B+. But then we get to the next episode, which is awesome. Yeah. So that episode, aired August 25th, 2013, because it aired week to week. So if you
Aaron Paul got an Emmy in 2014 for his performance towards the end of this episode.
Yes, he did. And it opens up kind of like with the fallout from the Declan thing, which I kind of thought was kind of a weird place to put this, considering that it didn't tie into anything in this episode. But
right, and I mean, even the thing last episode was kind of out of place. Like it had nothing to do with any of the Hank and Walt stuff.
Yeah, but at least it had something. Yeah, but I just thought this case, we never saw them again, so I guess they didn't want to open up, probably with the, Hank Jesse thing right away because they have a time limit. They have to put the intro in between. So it was
I think
fine.
this would have been good towards the end of last episode, honestly.
Yeah. So then it kicks off right with the Hank and Jesse interrogation. We find out that Jesse hasn't been breaking because he's just in a fatigue state, pretty much. Like, he's in, like, a guilt, doesn't really care about anything. So, Hank, I really like this scene because, it's kind of like them that they don't like each other, but Hank kind of wants to work with Jesse because I feel like he probably thinks, that
like
Hank's
my enemy is my friend type of thing.
And I think he kind of sympathizes with Jesse because he thinks Walt's probably manipulating him, which we find out is actually true. So, I really liked it. Jesse doesn't.
Well, he finds out it's actually true. We've kind of known for a while.
Yeah. And Jesse, he finally he breaks him a little bit, out of his state once he mentions, that he knows Walt Eisenberg. We realize, okay, I gotta pay attention now. Like, I can't slip up here. And Jesse doesn't say anything, because him and Hank don't have love lost. Even they reference back to season 3 when Hank, beat the crap out of him.
Right.
But then Saul comes in and saves the day pretty much. And he doesn't get anything out of Jesse. So more on that later. So yeah, I really liked this scene. I don't remember what the next thing is. Let me just check it out real quick because I think it's the Walter Jr. scene when he comes home. Walt is trying to cover up his face because he doesn't want Walter Jr. that he has it, because then he'll start asking questions. But he eventually it gets to the point where Walter Jr. is going to go over to Hank and Marie's because they're luring him over there to let him know that his father's a meth cook, and Walt decides not to. Walt doesn't want that to happen because he doesn't want his son to think of him as this crazed meth killer. I feel like that kind of ties into that speech where he doesn't want that to be his only memory of his father, because that kind of.
I think that's a big motivation for Walt. He wants people to remember him in a good light.
Yeah. So he tells his son that the cancer's back pretty much, and he does that big speech that I'm gonna sound like an asshole for saying this, that people with cancer say, "Oh, I'm gonna beat this and just overcome it," pretty much. So yeah, if you want to hate on me now, hate on me, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But I think Walt had other motivations to tell him, because it gets used later on in the episode, because it causes Walter Jr. not to want to leave, and because
your mother-in-law has cancer, so I mean that's
no
one can really hate you for that.
Yeah. And Walter Jr. doesn't want to leave because he just found out his dad has cancer, so he doesn't really think he has a lot of time to spend with his dad, so that's pretty related. So, well, we find, but then the
I think Walt kind of wanted, he wanted Walt Jr. to stay there, so he was just trying to tell him whatever.
Yeah. I actually thought he was just gonna. I kind of liked the way they did it too, because I actually thought they were gonna tell him, that he was Eisenberg. But then when he said that, it was kind of like a nice, "Oh, we fooled you" type of thing. So,
it's kind of like what happened in season 1, where Walt was like, "Skylar, I have something to tell you," and then you think that he told her about being Heisenberg, but no, it was actually he told her about the cancer thing.
Mm-hmm. Then I'll talk about the restaurant scene next, because I think that was next. I remember a lot of this episode. I just can't remember the order that it happens. So
yeah, that's a problem with a lot of these.
Yeah. So they meet at a restaurant, and I kind of like this scene a lot because when Hank and Marie show up, it's kind of like, okay, shit's about to go down. And I like the way this scene is set up, where you see the waiter try to take the waters and stuff, being the typical waiter. Hank's just about to say something, and then freaking waiter shows up. And I actually was kind of pissed off. I'm like, fuck off, dude. We want to fucking.
I know, right? Like, look, I know you're trying to get paid, but like, look, these guys have some serious shit to talk about.
Like I thought that was I kind of thought it was like he was kind of a nice addition because when he comes back later on and tries to do his job and like he talks about how we're gonna make guacamole and stuff like right, we can make it right at the table when he sees like he's trying to be like funny and stuff like that funny way to try to get tip when he sees like everyone's pissed off at each other he's like okay this is I can tell I'm kind of
not getting any tips here so I will spit their food
and I can tell this is kind of an intense conversation so but I really like this a lot. Walt and Skylar tell Hank and Marie to kind of leave the kids out of this because you don't have any evidence, and I don't. I don't want my son to know that I was Eisenberg. Because actually, I remember what the scene was next, but I'm not going to talk. I just remembered it now, but I'm not going to talk about it because that ties into the next scene. I don't want it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of pressure on him and stuff like that. Because I can you imagine like you found out your dad has cancer?
Oh God, Walt Jr. would be like destroyed, because he like worships Walt. So like finding out that he's this monster would.
Yeah, so he's like they tell Hank and Marie that you're pretty much destroying the family with these accusations, and Walt and Hank and Marie are like, since when did you give a shit about family? You're this big meth cook. We've tied all of this stuff together. She tells Skylar that she's been lying to him.
We bought the Blu-ray. We have Netflix. We watched the first 4 seasons. We know what you did. She tells Skylar you've been lying to us for years. And the best part of this scene is when Skylar tells Walt, when Marie tells Walt just for him to kill himself. Because basically, like they really hate him now. Like, it's kind of funny how they like last episode Marie loved him and thought the world of him. Now she hates his guts.
Yeah. Because basically, because they still have hope for Skylar because it's Marie's sister and stuff, and it's just really
like she's not as bad. She's just like going along with it.
Yeah, but she pretty much said that all of this comes to an end if Walt just kills himself. So.
But I'm sorry, I liked earlier when they were like, Walt, turn yourself in. Marie, Skylar, the longer you stick with him, the worse it's going to be. So it shows that, like, they're going for Walt 100%, but Skylar, they're trying to, like, let off easy in a way.
Yeah. I even, like this a lot for the sake, because it makes you kind of ties back in. I'm just thinking about this now. Is that why Walt, and obviously, like we said, spoiler free. I don't know why I do the X symbol when it comes to spoil free, but I wonder if that's why Walt went for makes you wonder if that's why Walt went for the ricin. But it probably isn't because if Walt was going to kill himself, he would have just done it like right then. Like he wouldn't wait, know.
To kill yourself, you wouldn't drive all the way back to your hometown, go through your abandoned house, unlock, pull out a wall outlet, grab ricin, then take it. You just grab the gun.
Yeah. And if I'm going to kill myself, that does not sound like the way you want to go. So.
Yeah, getting poison and slowly dying over the course of days.
You might as well just take the gun and shoot yourself. But
yeah.
So, Walt and Skylar, like, leave. I think this is the point where, there's just too much for them.
Oh, and they drop out and they tell, like, here, watch this.
DVD. And I like because that's the scene I actually forgot. We actually see like Walt in like the introduction stage, and that was obviously a callback to like the first episode when Walt introduces himself, because that's like the first scene, basically.
Right on his camera.
Yeah,
this is more like planned out and like rehearsed.
And
that was in the moment.
We actually thought that Walt leave this video here to convince himself, and then when he leaves the DVD, I'm like, okay, there's something more to this because he's not gonna turn himself into Hank like that. So. Right. What does Walt do? He basically
makes a false confession tape where he paints Hank. Oh, sorry. You can talk about this one.
Yeah.
Hank as the mastermind. Go on.
Yeah. So basically, he just gave his he gave his version of what Breaking Bad was like, pretty much. I imagine that was the spinoff instead, where Hank was Eisenberg instead of Walt.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, in the YouTube video of like Walt's confession tape, everyone's in the comments like, man, this Hank guy sounds like a real monster.
Yeah.
goofing around, saying like making it seem like Hank really is Heisenberg.
Yeah. So if you probably, if you were not a fan of this show and you just went and found that YouTube clip, you probably actually would have believed that was actually the storyline of the show.
Yeah.
Like,
and it makes sense. Like looking back, like people could believe Walt's story if they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, exactly. But me and you are probably just sitting there like, you piece of shit. Like,
exactly.
So I think we noticed Walt's getting a lot more unlikable as these episodes go on, which is the point of the
really pinning all the shit on Hank. Like he's willing to go that far.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to kill Hank, but he's definitely fine.
And it's at like, and it's pretty much at this point where Walt leaves evidence that he is Eisenberg, but does it in a way where Hank can't do anything about it now. So, like we talked about.
Oh, and the reason they can't do it like this is because Walt mentions the money for Hank's surgery and like his therapy, and Marie tells Hank, because he didn't know about it, that they used the money Walt had from his gambling, and they now know it's from his meth business. So now they can't turn Walt in because they're accomplices in a way.
Yeah, which was and also too because Hey, if you think about it too, it does make sense because Hank's supposed to be like this top DEA agent, and it takes him so long to find one guy that like he can't find.
And Hank kind of pointed that earlier, like I can't tell everyone at DEA because I'll be a laughing stock and they'll kick me out.
But now he can't tell anyone because
now he'll get arrested. Yeah,
and it also too the Jesse thing too help like when he beat the crap out of Jesse, that definitely, because like, why would Hank go and just beat the crap randomly out of a civilian like that? So, basically now Hank looks like the bad guy here. And it ties in, too, because since he's found out about Eisenberg, everyone's going to be like, he was kind of acting weird. Didn't come into work for a few days. He's been pushing, we find out, too, he's been pushing, like, meetings off and stuff. So, yeah, they're going to believe it. So, he even mentions to, how, he forced Walt to make the bomb for Gus and stuff like that. And, I mean, you just really have to go find this video because I can't, like, do it justice. So,
and, Walt makes it seem really believable.
Yeah, like, if the Jesse stuff didn't happen, Bryan Cranston would have won, like, Performer of the Week because he was awesome in this scene. And what I was thinking about, too, when this scene happens, I'm like, how the fuck's this episode going to end? Because this happens there's like 16 minutes left.
Oh, yeah. And then you find out it ends in a pretty big way.
So you want to talk about the
Jesse stuff?
Yeah, because I think that's like... Because
Jesse meets up with Walt and Hank in the desert.
No, Saul, not Hank.
Walt and Saul in the desert. And Walt is talking to Jesse about how he should get out of town, do the thing Saul suggested earlier, where he gets a whole new life.
Mm-hmm.
And Walt's saying, like, you're so young, you could leave, start a family. And Jesse's like, nope, you're full of shit. You don't want this. You just want me gone because Hank is not going to let up.
Mm-hmm. I liked it, too, because, like, Jesse finally called Walt out on, like, him manipulating him, too, so...
And, like, you can tell it's really breaking Jesse inside, knowing that, like, his father figure is just using him.
Yeah.
And even Walt, you know Walt cares about Jesse, but you can't tell, like, how much is him manipulating him and how much is him actually caring.
Yeah, like, this one was manipulating, like, full manipulation.
I don't know, I feel like there was a little bit of love in there. Like, like, when Jesse says, if I don't go, you'll kill me just like you killed Mike.
Yeah.
Walt doesn't deny it. Like, this is the first time he doesn't deny killing Mike.
Yeah. I even liked it too, where Walt mentions, like, he can get a whole new life and stuff. I thought Jesse was going to say to him, you ruined my life. Because he mentioned you have no one to really care about you and stuff. Like, Walt's kind of destroyed all of Jesse's, like, relationships and stuff in a way too.
Yeah.
Like,
and Jesse even said that earlier when he was in the hospital because of Hank. Like, everyone I care about is gone.
Yeah.
Actually, how old is Jesse? I'm gonna look that up.
Well, it's probably different now because,
I'll know. I'll be able to subtract however much time.
Yeah, because you're better at math than I am. Because I thought 150 was half of a 200. So
Yeah.
go watch that video.
Not quite.
Um,
What video was that anyway?
it's uploading right now. It's the
Oh,
Wrestling
the
Rundown.
rest.
Yeah. So.
And then while Walt goes up to Jesse and he hugs him basically, and Jesse starts crying. And
Yeah.
I like Saul just like awkwardly standing there in the background.
I even like how Walt tells Saul, "Go fucking take a walk." Like you're not important in this scene right now. It's just me and Jesse.
Did he say that like word for word? Because that'd be funny. Go fucking
No,
take.
no, fuck, no. That would have been awesome, but no, there was no.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He's 24.
Okay.
In this scene, so yeah, he's pretty young.
Well, actually, you have to subtract. You subtracted it to like Breaking Bad time too, right? Because.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
What do you mean Breaking Bad time? I mean, this. I looked up Jesse, not Aaron Paul.
Okay. So then oh yeah, wait, this is you.
Oh. So Jesse meets with Saul. He gets the card to get a new identity and everything.
And he says once he makes the call, there's no going back. Which apparently that's not the case because we find out there's something that happens with that later.
Well,
so.
if you make the call and then go all the way.
Yeah.
Jesse is waiting on the side of the road, and the car's there to pick him up. But when he looks in his cigarettes, he notices, he thinks to himself, the ricin thing.
Also, too, because he missed a pot, he was smoking pot in Saul's office because that ties in too, and he realizes the pot's not in his pocket. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, because Saul mentioned later on that, like, yeah, he had Hall swipe it off him because he didn't want the guy to not take him.
Yeah.
But when he does that and he like realizes Saul swiped it off him, he clicks that like Saul also earlier on took the ricin out of his pocket during the whole Gus thing. And
Yep.
And so Jesse leaves, the car pulls away, and Saul mentions later on that like once you miss it with that guy, like there's no going back. So Jesse can't like start a new life now.
Yep.
But then Jesse heads back to Saul's, locks the door, and just beats the shit out of Saul.
Yeah.
And he grabs the gun that Saul was going for, and he actually won an Emmy for this scene in 2014, where he flips out, starts crying, and it's like, "You help Mr. White, get the ricin off me, and then poison Brock. You poison Brock, you little piece of shit," stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was a really good scene. Like, I love Jesse in that scene.
Yeah, and Jesse leaves because he wants to. And this is like, because I was thinking too, like.
Good thing there's no one in that lobby. They would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah, I love this though because like when that Walt scene happened, I'm like, okay, Jesse's gonna do something that's gonna help Hank catch Walt because that's like the only way this story can continue. But they needed like Jesse to have motivation, and this is now Jesse's motivation.
Right now they figured out that Walt was on a poison Brock.
Yeah.
And he manipulated him so he could kill Gus. Like that's the icing on the cake.
And Walt, Saul calls Walt to warn him that Jesse didn't leave and stuff like that. So I like this scene, like where Walt goes into like and pretends like the soda machine's loosened to Skylar, and he actually just goes for the gun that he bought in season 4, the illegal gun. So he's like, just I have to make like a call to get a new one. And really he's just going to probably kill Jesse now at this point. So that's going to be an awesome confrontation right there because that's like that's new territory for like Breaking Bad right there. So
yeah,
then
like Walt against Jesse, like for real. Like they've had scuffles and like been pitted against each other, but it's never been quite like this.
Yeah,
and
like there's no going back this time now too. Like there's no way they can make this right now. So because typically they've always made up, but now they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna.
Like they really can't. Yeah, after what Walt did, and especially after what happened with Jesse, where he breaks into Walt's house and starts pouring gasoline everywhere, and that's what the episode.
Like him just pouring the gasoline, which. We know something's gonna happen.
Like, it's not. He was just like pouring it super calm. He's just like super emotional, like off the handle, like spilling it everywhere.
Yeah, we know something's gonna happen that's gonna cause the house not to get burnt down because of the first scene of episode 9. But I still like the scene a lot because it just showed how.
And I love Jesse this whole episode. He went from like dead on the inside at the beginning, and now he's just like full of rage and hate.
Yeah, he has purpose, and I like it too because Jesse's the hero now too. Like he doesn't care, like that what he has to do to Walt now. Like I like it.
Wants to make him.
And now Jesse's gonna find. I really can't wait to see that team up with Jesse and Hank because we know. I feel like that's gonna happen now. Like Jesse's gonna want to be the one to put Walt away too because of what he did. Yeah. So I love this. This episode was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give it an A+ because I don't think it was quite an A+ episode, but I'm gonna
give it an A-.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm gonna give it an A.
Really good Jesse episode, which we haven't had in a while, which was very much needed.
Yeah, and the Hank and Walt's stuff I still loved, and that's basically the whole episode. So it was awesome. And I was gonna say something, but now I forgot what I was gonna say because I've been doing videos for like 4 hours, guys. So
I bet you're exhausted, dude.
I'm not exhausted, but like
I'm still a little tired from my Daytona trip the other day.
Yeah. Well, I'm not exhausted.
I was gonna say yesterday, but it's already midnight, so.
Yeah. I'm not exhausted or anything, but like I can't like think. I keep forgetting what I'm supposed to say, so it's like I'll probably remember too, like right after we end this video. I'm like, oh fuck, because that typically happens. So.
So last episode got a B-. This one got an A.
No,
B+.
B+.
No, not a B-, B+. My bad. You're not the only one who's out of it.
Yeah.
So B+ for episode 10. Episode 11 got an A. So together, that's like an A- for these 2 episodes together.
Yeah, I think that's
really good batch. I liked it.
Yeah, I think
kind of sandwiched in between like a bunch of really good episodes though, which is a thing.
So if we ever
like 8, 9 really good, and 12, 13 are really good. So like I'd say these are like a weak bunch out of the group.
Yeah. So what? Like I'm probably rating them higher than them. Probably maybe I'm rating them about the same. But once I see like probably the next 2 episodes and stuff, I'm gonna be like, oh, these episodes are like not trash, but I'm gonna forget about them. So
yeah, I think that's what they are. They're just kind of like I forgot about a lot of this stuff until I went back to it.
Well, apparently I forget about 11 because I keep calling it episode 12.
I know, right?
But yeah, I really like this stuff, and it's just awesome stuff because now we're getting into like new territory. We're never gonna. I remembered what I was gonna say now because what I like about Breaking Bad is people are gonna assume Hank's gonna find out Walt's Eisenberg, Jesse's gonna find out about the Vice, but they don't find out what they find out like in ways you wouldn't even like think of, like
right.
What a coincidence!
I would not have guessed when the show started. Hank finds out Walt is Heisenberg by taking a shit.
Yeah, well, and the book. Like, how could you have guessed, last season that Jesse was gonna find out about the Vice by just simply pickpocketing him like right away like that? So it shows that Jesse's getting smarter too, because I don't even think he would have even realized it if it was season. I actually would love to see like season 1, like Jesse and stuff, in season 1 Walt be like placed here just to see how they would react.
Right, they wouldn't last a day, because they're so newbie at that.
Yeah, can you imagine season 1 Walt going after Gus? He would have been dead.
He wouldn't last a day. He would get killed immediately.
Yeah. Can you imagine too, like season 5 Walt going after Tuco? Tuco would be dead within a fucking second. Like,
oh god, Tuco. Oh god, Walt wouldn't. Remember when Walt blew up his hideout? He wouldn't have survived that.
Yeah.
Walt would have threw the whole back.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's just a lot. I mean.
Oh, Crazy 8. That whole episode where Walt was trying to kill Crazy 8, that would have been like a 5-second episode.
Yeah.
So it's like play the beginning, 5 seconds, credits. There you go.
Yeah. That probably would have been like right before the intro, actually. So.
Yeah, there you go. So not even an episode.
Yeah. Walt and Jesse though, I wonder if they would have caught that fly though. They probably wouldn't even waste their time catching that fly. Like he was like, we got bigger things to do than catch a fly. Like.
Exactly.
Especially now, like they have other things to. worry
Oh,
about.
well, I mean, they meet up to catch the fly, and then they try to kill each other because now they hate each other.
Well, can you imagine too? Like, that's what causes Walt and Hank to finally work together again. Like, wait, Hank, before you arrest me, we gotta kill this fly real quick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because everyone hates flies, so. Okay, we're just freaking.
It's not a fly, Walt. It's a mineral.
Yeah.
Mineral fly.
We're just freaking rambling. Can you imagine?
I'm tired.
No, I can you one more. Can you imagine this Walt going against Gus though? That would be pretty awesome, actually.
That'd be pretty, because I'd say they're pretty even right now.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be like a day thing. Like I think it would. It'd probably take 8 seasons for them to fucking finally kill each other. So
probably, yeah.
Maybe the whole
Who
show.
do you think would win in the end? Gus or Walt? I think Walt would still pull out ahead.
Yeah, I think so. But I think it would be a tough matchup though. Because I feel like I wonder if the bomb scene would have happened though. Because
probably not, because Walt only did that because like he was so outmatched and he had to do like an underhanded thing.
Yeah, but
if they were even playing field, I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, but I feel like without Gus, Walt wouldn't be who he is today. So
yeah, like Gus showed him like what power is in a way.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty awesome stuff like that.
So it's fun to think about, like, man, how far they've come in a way.
Yeah.
And this episode's really good at that. So,
I'll say this too. A lot of people want to see like a Walt Rick Grimes, confrontation. But if you look at Walt now, he would fucking kill. I know you don't know who Rick is yet, but he would fucking kill Rick Grimes in a second.
Really? I saw the rap battle in Epic Rap Battles History like 2 years ago.
Well, when you see Rick, I'll say maybe season 5 Rick would have a chance but if you go like watch
Rick seems pretty badass from what I've seen.
Yeah, but there's certain moments where like seasons like 6 through 8, there's stuff that happens that kind of make Rick not a badass and stuff. So, but I feel like too like Carl wouldn't even care that Walt's this big drug addict, because Carl would be like, yeah, fuck it,
I live in the apocalypse. Who cares?
Can you imagine Walt in the apocalypse too? Like this Walt, like he'd be fucking. He would probably be like the fucking villain with all the,
Probably walkers.
Yeah.
Walkers be walking away from him is the thing.
I think like the walkers, like walkers just typically they wouldn't even want to like eat him. Like, actually,
want some meth, walkers? Want some meth? Go get the meth.
We're fucking just. All right. Plugs real quick because we're fucking.
AJ Talent, my YouTube channel. You plug yours. I'm easy. I only got one.
Wrestling Fortune 44. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit now because I've been doing videos for 3 hours. I did
definitely drink some water after this.
Yeah. And then CM Brothers. We should be uploading content again there. Fairly soon. So.
Yeah, we just got 3 episodes done. That definitely makes up for the last 2 weeks of no vids.
Yeah, I think so. So that's pretty much it, guys. We will talk to you guys later.